The making of the Bare Necessities film.
I've had an idea.
4 words that now strike dread into the heart of the Business Development Coordinator at the Advice and Community Hub, especially if they are spoken by Joe Wilson. Joe is a manager at BHT and works tirelessly at the Hub, supporting and advising the most vulnerable and disadvantaged people of Hastings and St Leonards. Jo does have a unique outlook on life, and her ideas usually involve songs, animal bodysuits and cartoon characters wielding sledgehammers, breaking down the barriers to equality and justice. Jo's ideas are invariably off the wall but brilliant. She has a knack of coming up with ideas for promotions and projects that are striking, memorable and get her message across in a unique way. Putting these ideas into practice, though, is a different matter.
It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. That doesn't sound too difficult, does it?
Are all sentences that flow very easily from Jo's mouth. I tend to nod and smile while my brain is working overtime trying to work out how this latest idea can be brought to life. So when Jo first mentioned the idea of Bare Necessities, I smiled and said I would see what we could do. Jo's idea was to make a short film about starter packs. Starter packs are provided for people who are starting a new home and have nothing. This can be because they have been homeless, institutionalised, in care or fleeing domestic violence and abuse. The starter packs provide basic, essential items so that people can cook, wash and clean for themselves and their children. Funding for this vital service was being reduced, and Jo wanted a film made that would highlight the impact on families if starter packs were not available. Jo's idea was to have children playing with toy dolls in a toy house and playing with toy items included in a starter pack. In the background, the Bare Necessities song from Jungle Book was being played. As the children were playing, toy starter pack items would be removed at the same time as the music slowed down and became quieter and more sombre. At the end of the film, the camera would draw back to reveal the children in a bare room with none of the real items included in the starter pack. Jo met with Naomi Ridley, Chief Executive of Hastings Furniture Service, who distributed the starter packs, and together they set to work developing the idea. It was agreed that the sooner the film could be produced and shared, the better, as this is a very current issue. And following a budgeting and finance meeting, the budget for this project was confirmed as £no and no pence. I have developed a strategy since working at the Hub. On previous occasions where I've been tasked with sourcing an item or service and had no budget, I found the following approach to be quite successful. Number 1, be honest. Number 2, ask politely. Number 3, wait for the amazing, talented and incredibly generous people of Hastings and St Leonards to offer all types of help, support and their precious time. I put out Facebook and Twitter messages asking for people with filming knowledge and also for choirs who might be willing to help out. I also asked around and contacted a few people I thought may be able to help. The response and support has been incredible. Over 200 people have now contributed to the making of this film. All have offered their time, expertise and voices for free, and the final result is testament to Hastings and St Leonards, to its vibrancy, its heart, its people and its desire to do something to help those most in need. Jo and Naomi put together storyboards, rewrote lyrics, met with filmmakers and choirs, directed, filmed, supported, cajoled, badgered, and ensured this project got off the ground, evolved and was completed. I've given you some background to this story, the film, the campaign and the people involved. I will leave you now to the sights and sounds of some of the people who have helped make the film, with my sincerest apologies for some of the dodgy sound editing, filming and pictures. Naomi from HFS will talk you through HFS, local welfare assistance and her involvement in the film. There's a thank you to Kneecap Media, and finally Debbie Warren talks us through the song, choirs and musical arrangement. The Bare Necessities film really is more than the sum of its parts. The pictures, lyrics and music combine to create a powerful message that we hope will be a creative force for positive change in the fight for local welfare assistance funding.
HFS is a local charity and social enterprise. We help people with low incomes to furnish their homes affordably, and we do that by collecting unwanted reusable furniture and electricals throughout Hastings and Rother. People with low incomes visit our stores to buy the items at a reduced price. When the government abolished community care grants and loans a couple of years ago, they allocated funding to local authorities to replace that help with local services. We worked with East Sussex County Council and other charities to set up a local scheme, which is known as DESS. That stands for the Discretionary East Sussex Support Scheme. People who are in need, perhaps because they've been homeless, they've run away from domestic violence, they've left care or an institution and need to set up home independently, or they've had a crisis like a house fire, they can apply for help from the DESS scheme. Des then refers the household to us and we deliver the items they need, which we buy in bulk from wholesalers. These are items like beds, bedding, fridges, cookers and starter packs of crockery, cooking equipment, towels and cleaning items. The system is really quick, it saves money and it helps people to keep living independently or to set up home again after a crisis. This year the government cut the funding so much that the county council has stopped funding the starter packs. We're trying to raise the funds to keep this part of the service going, and that's because we've seen what a huge difference it makes for people just to be able to bathe their kids or cook a meal, things that most of us are lucky enough to take for granted. We've been campaigning to ask the government to change its mind to reinstate local welfare assistance funding that supports schemes like this throughout the country. The support from all the volunteers that Barry got involved has just been amazing. We hope the video will be shared widely and we hope it will encourage people to email or write to their MPs about it so that those people understand. People really do care about this issue. Thanks very much.
Hey, I'm Jake Burnett from Kneecap Media.
Hi, I'm Jason Butler from Kneecap Media.
I just saw the job on Facebook and we just got involved through that way.
When we started to film, I started on camera, but then once Indiana got freed up, I moved on to grip and looked after the equipment, set stuff up.
So initially, HFS asked for stop motion, but the camera we had on the day, it couldn't really do stop motion, but it's a great video camera, so we sort of just went with it.
The Blackmagic camera is a fantastic camera. The only problem is the low light, but we had lights, so that sorted that out.
Usually we film with our DSLRs, that's the equipment we have, but this time we had access to the university equipment, so we got out the Blackmagic 4K production cameras, which are, they have great picture quality, and they're just a great camera to have.
Yeah, I found the editing's been good fun. It's something different.
Colour grading the footage, we went for a sort of warm look at the start, because the video starts off quite nice, quite happy, but then near the end it starts getting sad, so we sort of went for a sort of blue look, a bit desaturated as well.
On the day of filming, Indiana, Jake and Jason brought cameras, lights and loads of other technical looking equipment along. They had already spent a lot of time planning and on the day spent a lot of time setting up the lights and cameras before the filming even began. They were very patient with the young actor and actress, coped admirably with the confined space and were very understanding of other interested young siblings and parents sticking their nose in and unintentionally getting in the way. They then edited the scenes into a brilliant campaign film that conveyed exactly the aims and objectives that we had discussed with them. I have never spoken a truer word when I say that the Bare Necessities film could not have been made without their generous help and support. And a special mention goes to Casper, the sound engineer. He travelled a long way to record the choir singing the Bare Necessities song while suffering from a terrible cold. He did an excellent job and our thanks go out for the time, equipment and expertise he so generously provided. Also our thanks go to Gerald and Claire from HFS who put all the set and props together, to Si who played the mother, and lastly but not least thank you to our youngest volunteers Harry and Jess. They took direction very well along with the Green Room Suites.
Okay, so my name is Debbie Warren and I'm the musical director on the project. I am responsible or was responsible for getting the choir members together and arranging the music, getting the rehearsal material out to get everyone ready, and overseeing the recording. I really liked the concept. The concept that I was approached with was having a choir singing, the jolly Bare Necessities from Jungle Book, but then for the song to change in some way and become much sadder and voices to drop out of the choir to reflect what would happen if all the essential items that the starter packs provide were taken away.
Yeah.
So should we go for like a minor key version of the song at the point when you need things to change? So
Is that as in sadder? When you say minor key, do you mean a bit? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so you've got your major, which is the
happy, right, okay, yeah.
And then if you turn it minor.
Right, okay, got you, yeah. Yeah, very distinct, very different.
Yeah, so once we sort of settled on the place, up went all the microphones and the sound desk came out, and I was getting my keyboards set up and whatever, and then we gathered everybody down together in the recording space, and we went through the song a few times. It was the first time that all the 3 choirs had sung it together. Just tidied up a few bits and pieces, make sure it was very clear. Wanted the words to come across particularly, otherwise there's little point in doing it because we're not. Yeah. So yes, I kind of reworked Naomi's lyrics a bit, but try and keep the basic idea of them. We did a rehearsal then with all the keyboard tracks and the voice all together, and Cass was sound checking as we go. We get the thumbs up from him. We were all great. That's it. And then we did, I think, 3 takes.
The 2 singers at the end, and then the girl just singing the last line.
Yeah, Annika and Esme with the final 2 voices there. Yeah. And then Esme got the last bit, the heart-wrenching.
But yeah, which worked really, really well. Okay. Right, okay, well thank you again for all the huge effort you put in there. I can't wait to see the finished article, and thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Everyone at the Advice and Community Hub and HFS would like to extend our sincerest thanks to everybody who has helped make this idea a reality. The people of Hastings and St Leonard's never cease to amaze us with their compassion and generosity. Thank you.
I've had an idea.